Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the Southern Cottage. I am Connie, and today is going to be a little bit difficult for me. I have been promising a garden tour. I wanted everything to be perfect, and it is not, and I've finally come to the realization that it's never going to be. I'm never going to be finished. There are things out of place. I'm working on my irrigation. I have tubes running everywhere. My plants are not doing the best in certain areas. But I'm going to have to learn to be okay with that, because that is how it is. I see it every day. And it's time to show y'all my garden. It's a little bit windy today, so I'm really hoping that the audio on this is going to be okay. It actually feels really good. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and it's 85 degrees, and it's going to be about 93 today. I am in zone 9A, I believe, in Texas, and we have hit almost 100 degrees for the past week, and that has taken its toll on some of my plants, especially my tomatoes. And but I'm going to start this off by showing you the best part. I showed you a lot of these plants in a haul video, my perennial for my shade bed, and y'all, they're doing so much better than what I expected, and it is filling up so nicely. And I wanted to kind of let y'all know that I did most of this bed. Some of this stuff I had on hand, some of it I had in here last year and I removed and put back, but most of this bed was done for about $100, and it is about 30 feet long and maybe 5, 6, 7 feet. It depends on where you're at in the bed. So there's a lot of square footage here, and it's going to fill up. It's going to fill up real nice. This is my shade garden. It's right at the very front of my house. We finally got our new roof put on and my gutters, so I am able to plant in this area without fear of them drowning. And y'all, look at all the caladiums. I have ferns planted in here that they're coming up slowly. I have hostas, begonias, heucheras right here. I don't remember what that is. And that one I bought a no name. I don't remember. The one thing I am having problems with in this bed is, and all over actually, are caterpillars. They have come out in force this year. But look how gorgeous these are. These are all the same, but they're all the same type of bulb. But look at the difference in the leaves. They're so beautiful, and they're huge. I'll show you just how huge down here at the end. This is a different one. This is a, what is that? Caroline. And let's see, begonias in the front, and all of this stuff I started from bulb or rhizome or whatever you want to call it. Some snake plants. I did plant a couple of forsythias in here. Only one of them has leafed out. And I did plant some buddleias, butterfly bushes, and those I don't think made it. These I bought last year because I like the texture. And this is an Achillea red. It blooms red, and I think we might have some bloom stalks coming. We'll see. Look at how giant these leaves are. Let me get to this one right here. Let me watch where I'm stepping. That is my hand. And look at how huge that is. And I love the pink. These are white. That's what they're called. But look at the color variation on them. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love, y'all know red's my color. I love the reds and the pinks. So many different colors in this area. I have some coleus and some caladiums in these two flanking pots. And these are what's left of my succulents from Snowpocalypse 2021. So I have 1, 2, 3 baby agaves, a small barrel, and I don't remember what that is. So there we go. Now on to the side garden. This garden is actually outside of our property line. We live inside the city limits, but we back up to a cow pasture. We're right at the city limits, and this is a city street, believe it or not, but there will never be a street here. So we have been using this for years. Now, my husband owned this property before we got married, and for years here he said he had an in-ground garden, and we did have an in-ground garden here previously, but 23 years of tree growth has made it way more shady than what is necessary for vegetables and things to grow. So a lot of my tomato plants out here are elongated, and yeah, they're really leggy. Some of them are putting on fruit and some are not. Some things are doing extremely well and some are not because of the shallowness of these grow bags. But I have fruit. These are my mystery tomatoes, and they look like they look like Roma tomatoes. But these all came from the same bag of mystery tomato seeds, and this one is round. I don't have any clue about that. My yard long beans, these are the ones that I saved last year, and this bed right here are the new ones. And these are Blue Lake pole beans. Now, I heavily seeded here because last year nothing grew and I wanted to make sure I'd get something. And I need to go in and thin. I'm just going to snip them off. These are my Black Beauty eggplants, and you see all of the bug damage on these. That is Malabar spinach, and I believe these are Ozark Beauty zucchinis, both of these. These are my extra tomato plants. So there are 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have a total of 21 tomato plants on this side. And all of them, except for the mystery ones, have a place in my other gardens. So these were the extras. And if I get tomatoes off of these, they're bonuses. Most of these on this side are full-size plants. Full-size tomatoes. And I do have blossoms on there. But when it gets above 90, you know, the blossoms start to kind of fall off. But it's enough shaded over here where I'm hoping I might get some things off of them. So I do have buds on the full size. Not all of them. Do you see how tall and leggy they are? Remember this whenever we get to my raised bed garden area, and you will see the difference. Because these were planted maybe 2 days apart. But one of the stars over here is my blue goldberry. Look at the purple on these tomatoes. These are cherry tomatoes. And those, I think I'm going to get a little bit of fruit off of. These do have buds. So there is a line of buds right there. There as well. This one also, this is a Garden Leader Monster. I'll show you that in my raised bed garden area. I've got some tomatoes coming on those. Now, if I were to only be able to plant one cherry tomato plant, it would be this one. This is a Sweetie Cherry, and it is so prolific. And the tomatoes on these are just so intense in flavor. These are definitely stretched out, but I'm not going to worry about it. These are okra plants. Now, they like the heat. They've shot up a little bit in the 100-degree weather. Here's another Sweetie Cherry, and these are bush beans. They're contender beans. And I have a tomatillo over here. It's a purple one. I have another one in the raised bed area. You're supposed to have 2 tomatillo plants to help pollinate. You can still get some off of just one, but you'll get more with 2. Don't know how that's going to do over here, but it has been eaten by caterpillars. And then my corn. I have 5 of these mineral tubs planted with corn, and they look like they're doing okay. Then I have yellow squash in these round fabric beds. One area, these have been up for weeks, and I've got one that is just now coming up, and I guess they germinate however they want to. This is another, y'all excuse my shadow, this is another variety of yellow squash. Now, this is the one that's doing the best out of all of my beds. This water trough I got from my mom a couple years ago, and it is planted with, this is zucchini, both of these, and then I have cucumbers to grow up the fence back here. These zucchini are covered in blossoms. Let me move my hand so it'll focus. I mean covered. Squash type plants and zucchini have a male and a female flower. Let me see if I can find the difference. They're a little bit small to find the difference right now, but when I do, I will definitely show you. And these are cucumbers. This bed gets overhead water by a sprinkler because this is on a city street that's, you know, technically not my property, but we've been using it for years. I don't want to put any drip irrigation over here because it's not mine. I don't want to do any permanent improvements on it. But I run a water hose over here, and I have a sprinkler that I run for probably about an hour, and it gets a lot of water daily. If you notice, a lot of the plants are turning kind of yellow. That is a nutrient deficiency, and I need to fertilize, and I'll get that done this weekend. Because most of the grow bags, there's just a few inches of soil in there. They're doing really well for just having a few inches of soil. So if you think you don't have enough room to grow things, y'all, it doesn't need much. It doesn't need much. So, but the amount of water that I put through here and the amount of soil that they have, or lack thereof, depletes the nutrients in the soil a lot faster. So they're going to get a shot of fertilizer this weekend, and hopefully they'll green back up and we'll see some more production. The next area of my garden I'm going to show you is mainly to be pretty. Now, it's not pretty right now, but it's a work in progress. So I was able to get these rocks. I used to have wood on the borders, and they were really difficult to keep trimmed up and looking nice. I got these rocks for pennies per pound. I think I ended up spending like $300 total on all the rocks for all of my beds. And they go around here. There's Casey all along the front and all down the back. I think I got 2 or 3 tons of rock. And then there's more on the side over here, and I'll show you that in a minute. Dump truck going down the road. Anyway, that is my Kong Coleus. I showed y'all that in a garden haul, and y'all, they've been sitting in their plant cans for at least a month, and I finally got them in ground, and they're not too happy about it. They were really happy in their plant can, not so much over here. Now, this is a partial sun, partial shade, so I don't know what half of these are because I don't remember. But there you go. That is my yesterday, today, and tomorrow plant. If you don't know what that is, when they bloom a deep purple, and then the next day it turns lavender, and then the next day it turns white. So yesterday, today, and tomorrow, a bunch of different colors. So super pretty. That's Casey's rock. That is her rock for when I come home or leave. That's where my door is normally, and that's where she sits to greet me or say goodbye. My purple Jew is doing extremely well. That is a lantana, and I think that it is yellow. That came back from last year. And y'all, let me tell you about my Peggy Martin climbing roses. My husband bought these for me a year ago, and leafcutter ants destroyed them twice or 3 times, and I never got a bloom on them. I finally got the leafcutter ants under control, and y'all, it was covered, I mean covered in pink blossoms. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a purple lantana, lavender actually, and this one's a trailing one. Most lantanas have an upright habit. That's a trailing. And this right here, I'm having a hard time deciding whether this is a sunflower or a zinnia, and I'm thinking that it's a sunflower. It was out, I planted it here, but it was out in the middle, right about here, so I dug it up and planted it, and it is happy as a lark. But y'all, I'm leaning towards sunflower. And then this is my mojito mint and my sage. Y'all, mint is invasive here. If you plant it out in your yard, it will definitely take over. So I try to keep them contained. Over here, and y'all, excuse the lighting. This is the only time I've got to do this, so we're going to get it done. These are my dahlias, and I had never planted dahlias before. I don't know if you can see how gorgeous that color is. Absolutely beautiful. I've got some cannas or callas, I believe, calla lilies right back in there, and my, y'all, I'm looking straight at it and don't know what it is. Rosemary. There we go. These are some things that were pulled up from in there. I know what this is, I promise. Comfrey. And I have a volunteer of that in my shade garden as well. A yellow lantana, more dahlias. This is a variegated oregano. I love anything variegated. More dahlias. My lemon thyme that is ready for harvest. Cannas. Those over there are callas. These are canna lilies. I have a red one there and a yellow one here. And this is my blueberry. I think I'm going to get a whole 2 berries off of it. But it's the first year here. There's another one. Did I say blueberry? Blackberry. This one was created at Texas A&M for our area. I'm just up the street from College Station. So it should do really well here. This is a blueberry that I killed. And I'll show you all the rest of my dead blueberries because I killed them all. I have a lot of stuff in here. I'm not going to go through everything, but I kind of wanted to show you. These are more dahlias. Dahlias are perennial here. They will multiply underground, and you can actually separate them and make new plants. Look at that color, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. And this one's really, really, really tall, and it put on a lot. Now these are supposed to be dinner plate dahlias. Dinner plate are supposed to be like 8-10 inches. These are definitely not. Y'all, I'm wondering, I know that's more leaf growth, but I'm wondering if it's going to put on some more blooms on my blackberry. We will see. So yeah, the more I look at these and the thickness of the stalks, these are more volunteers. All of these volunteered, and I think they're sunflowers. I really do. and they are about to bloom or put on their blooms. But I have another dahlia hiding in behind there, and straight in through there, and I don't know if you can see it, is another dead blueberry plant. Let's go around here. This is another blackberry, and it was grown from bare root. Absolutely happy. All right, this is, I don't know what this was. This was Tomato Alley last year. So I have a tomato on each end, and then in the middle I have 3 rows of sunflowers and zinnias. The back row are my mammoth sunflowers, and they are going to grow taller than this storage building. And then the second row is the 4 to 6 feet tall ones. I've got some that are going to get 12 to 16 feet tall, which I'm really happy about. And then in the front are my zinnias, so 3 to 5 feet on the zinnias. And what I did was I took all my different varieties of sunflowers that grew a certain height, put a few in a box, mixed them up, and then I sewed them extremely close together, and a lot. I just put a lot in there because I wanted it really full. Is that the best way to do it? No, that is how I did it. So yeah, we're going to be okay with that. Most of my tomatoes in my garden I started from seed, but some of them I didn't have seeds for and I wanted to try them. This one is actually a Mr. Stripey. Matures to 80 days, puts on a 12-ounce fruit, and it has blossoms. It does not have fruit on it quite yet, but we will see. We're going around right now to close to where, oh, there's bees everywhere, y'all. Close to where my my greenhouse garden is. This is a chocolate sprinkle. It's a larger cherry, and it has a lot of tomatoes on it. Several different branches. Some of you probably aren't going to know what this is, but this is a pineapple ground cherry. And they are notoriously hard to germinate, and they take forever. None of the ones that I started from seed actually grew. These are all volunteers, and I'll show you some more over in the other areas of my garden. These grow like tomatillos with a husk, and when they fall off, they're ready. And there's a berry inside these. Let me see if I can find one. There's a berry right inside here, and I can feel it right there. And they taste kind of sweet tart. Garden snacks, that's what that is. Okay. I have a love-hate relationship with strawberries. I love to eat them. I love to try to grow them, but I hate them because they always die. I bought some, and then, yeah, they're dead. Anyway, this bed actually just got planted, and all these were started at the same time as some of my other ones. And I'll show you the size difference. These are way small, but they're already putting on fruit, and these have all been topped to where they will produce more shoots and more fruit, hopefully. This is a Garden Leader Monster Bell Pepper. That's a tame jalapeno. This is another purchased tomato. That's a Black Prince. It's an heirloom, and it already has tomatoes on it. Another tame jalapeno and another Garden Leader bell pepper. No, Grand Bell mix. It's still a bell pepper. It's not a Garden Leader Monster. But I want y'all to look at these tomato plants. Look at the difference in the ones that are in full sun. And they were planted maybe 2 days apart. Maybe. Such a huge difference. So let me go through these real quick. This is a giant pink Belgium. There are no tomatoes on this plant yet, but there are blossoms right here, and there's a huge face-shaded blossom. This tomato would come out looking, ooh, y'all, bugs flying everywhere, sorry. Flew right in my ear. Anyway, This blossom is probably 3 blossoms put together, and if I can get in there for you to see, that's not normal, and I'm going to go ahead and pinch that off. It takes a lot for the plant, a lot of energy for the plant to grow fasciated tomatoes. They come out cat-faced where they look all funky. They're kind of like Siamese twins of tomatoes. Anyway, this is what a normal blossom should look like. The next one is a Rutgers tomato. I'd never grown these before, but I did start these from seed, and we do have tomatoes on them. The next one, which one is this? Oh, black Brandywine. I love me some Brandywine tomatoes, and I'm gonna actually get some this year. Let me see if I can show you. There we go. They have a really, really nice flavor. This next one is a climbing triple crop. It's supposed to put on a lot of tomatoes, but it is not growing as fast as the rest, and I'm not unsure why. But we do have blossoms. And this one is a San Marzano. Y'all, I've tried to grow Roma tomatoes because I use a lot of Roma tomatoes in my cooking, and I tried to grow some and I could never get an actual true Roma. This is supposed to be a paste tomato, and look at that. I don't understand that, but it's all good. It's supposed to be a good paste tomato where you can make sauces and things out of it. It's got a lot of flesh. So, and there are tomatoes and blossoms all over this one. And I grew my yard long beans here last year, and there's a volunteer right there. I wintered these over in my greenhouse from last year, and I probably won't do that again, so it wasn't worth the headache. Anyway, this is another Rutgers tomato, and there's quite a few on here as well. This is a black creme, and I've got some black creme. Oh, that's a good size one right there. And there's several more smaller ones. Y'all, I'm seeing way more than what I saw on my garden walk this morning. This is a regular Brandywine. Oh, sorry. Y'all, I get distracted when I see new stuff. There's tomatoes on that one. And this is a Cherokee Purple. I do not see any tomatoes on this one just yet. This one is a delicious tomato. I've gotten a couple of these in the past. There's blossoms right there. I didn't know if I could find any. And this is a Garden Leader Monster. These are supposed to produce 2-pound tomatoes. And we will see. We're not going to talk about my greenhouse. My strawberries all died except for the plant, y'all, and I haven't watered those in a month. And they are still doing just fine. I haven't been in here except for to get fertilizer. So yeah, we're going to ignore the greenhouse for right now. I had a blueberry planted right here. That is the only time that I seeded that actually produced, that germinated. So I just popped it in right there. And this is another blueberry. And when I say I'm never going to buy or plant blueberries again, I mean it. And then these are my strawberries from last year. They're all alive. They're all doing okay. They need to be replanted. So before I get to my raised bed area next to my catering kitchen, I want to show y'all this. We are rerunning water. So we are going to put some water into my greenhouse along with some electricity so I can not have to run a hose. And it's all starting from back here, and then this is the very back of my house. Whenever they built it, they didn't put any water access on the front. They're both back here, so right here and then right up there on the other side of my air conditioning unit. So we are going to tie in here and run it around the side. Y'all, we're not plumbers. We do it however we need to. And that's going to run the drip irrigation to my front beds, my shade garden beds, and the one in the front of my porch. And then this one is going to go straight under this building, and that'll take us straight out to the side yard, to the side garden, to where I won't have to run the garden hose across my yard. And the last thing back here is my fig tree. Y'all, I make the best strawberry fig preserves and fig preserves, and we have some people that let us come and pick. But I have wanted a fig tree forever. And I got this one for like 18 bucks. And look, it was almost this big when I bought it. It hasn't grown a ton, but it's definitely put on a lot of growth. I'm sorry about the wind. I'm not sure that it's time for it to bloom out yet. I'm not sure what it looks like when it blooms out, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's doing fine. Right here, I've got it in the mineral tub because I don't know if it's going to live here forever. But it's doing just fine. Now let's go up front to my raised bed garden area. And y'all see what I mean about stuff everywhere? The drip back here is finished. I need to tie in my sunflower and zinnia bed to this drip. This is the drip that was in it before. I'm redoing it because, you know, I have different stuff and different things require different irrigation types. So yeah, right now I'm hand watering everything, pulling a water hose. This is my first set of raised bed gardens, and I think it was about 4 years ago that we built these, and I love these. I love walking out my back door and I get this visual. Now I still have stuff everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Irrigation stuff. I just got these finished with the irrigation and even to the pots. And then the irrigation from here is going to feed all of this. So, alright, in this first bed, I have my onions. I've never been successful in growing onions, bulb onions, and I don't think I'm going to be successful this year either because they're not bulbing up. I'm not giving up on them just yet. They need a little bit of fertilizer just like everything else. We'll see. These are mammoth jalapenos. This is definitely putting on jalapenos. But that one, I have some that are almost ready to harvest. There's jalapenos all over that. And these are cucumber munchers. Now I was really late. I should have had these in probably a month before I did. I don't know what kind of harvest I'm going to get from my cucumbers because when it gets really hot they get bitter, but we will still try. That will grow over my cattle pennel trellis. And this side, these are Armenian white cucumbers. They're not actually cucumbers, they are squash. They have a mild cucumber flavor and they do not get bitter when they get big. So first year growing these, we're going to see how, oh, well, I tried it last year, nothing happened. We're going to see how that goes. And then this is another Garden Leader Monster Bell Pepper. And it has blossoms on it. This, I believe, that's a sweet banana. My husband loves sweet banana peppers. And then that over there is a tame jalapeno. This right here is a lemon basil. I need to pop off all the blooms. I'll show y'all how to propagate basil and stuff on a different video. Purple basil, and that is regular sweet basil. Now over there where Casey is digging, Casey, stop. She's trying to find a cool spot in the dirt. That is a purple tomatillo. You see the difference? And this is a green tomatillo. So I had 2 purple and 1 green germinate for me. And these have put on blossoms. And they are also actually putting on some of the pods. So we're going to be hopeful about these. This bed right here has 6 of the full-size tomatoes. I have the full size here, and then I have cherry tomatoes over there. I tried my hardest to do some cilantro, but they went to seed really quickly. I just pulled that one out. I have some walking onions here that something has been eating. This is a blue basil, African blue, and y'all, love running my hand over it. Anyway, Excuse me. This cilantro has gone to seed. It's not hurting anything. I don't need to put anything there, so I'm just going to leave it be. Alright, this is a triple crop, and it looks like we might be finally getting a blossom on there. This is a Garden Leader Monster tomato, and we have some tomatoes on here. A couple of areas with plenty more blossoms. This is a Black Brandywine. No tomatoes just yet, but definitely we have blossoms. This one, what is this one? Giant Pink Belgium. And y'all, I can't tell. You see that? That is caterpillar damage. They're eating off the blossoms, and it's ticking me off. There's a moth over there that I need to get off. But definite blooms. This one is a Jubilee. I think this is the only one that actually sprouted for me. So I don't know the growth habit on this one. All of my tomatoes in my garden are indeterminate, and I do go through, you know, every so often and pick off armpits, because you know those armpits will make a whole new tomato plant if you let it. San Marzano, do you see how they're coming out? It's crazy. Alright, this last bed is my cherry tomatoes. This is the blue goldberry, so the same as the ones in the side garden, but I think it got really hot and the blossoms just shriveled up. But we do have some hope up here, so we will see about those. These are a yellow pear, and they make the best yellow tomato salsa, and they're really good for fresh eating. So I have quite a few of those coming on. This next one is a black cherry, and y'all, I topped it on accident. If you cut off the leader of the tomato, it will only get that tall, okay? But I've already got berries, cherries on here. So what I'm going to do, this is an armpit, and there will be an armpit growing right here. I'm just going to let this grow and let it become the new leader. So all is not lost on that. This wind, guys. This is a regular jalapeno. This is like a medium heat. This is an Anaheim pepper. Oh, sorry. I got excited. I got my first pepper on here. But there's blossoms all over that. I did top that pepper. You can see right in the middle there, that scarring, and it shot up 3 more stems, so 3 more leaders. I have another lemon basil here. There's a lemon basil there, and this is another banana, and then that's another tame jalapeno, and this is a chocolate cherry. I think I only have a couple of those. So what I really wanted to show y'all on this side, and y'all, I'm almost done. This is another ground cherry. I had ground cherries down here, planted right around here in pots. I don't know how they ended up here, maybe from the birds. I'm sorry, that is not a lemon basil, that is a lime basil. Okay, anyway, this is another ground cherry. So I have 2 volunteer ground cherries right here. And then there's another one right here. And the funniest one of them all is growing out the side of this raised bed. And y'all, it is still alive. It is blooming. I had cherries here a couple of years ago. But look. It's blooming. That is so funny. And let me see if I can show you where it's growing out of. Right there. There's a hole in this metal, because this was my old roof on my carport. So yeah, we're going to let that one go and see what happens. Let me get you a little bit up closer to my mammoth jalapenos. They're not mammoth yet, but they're certainly bigger than the jalapenos I was getting last year already, and they're not even done. One last area I wanted to show you are my, I call them my window boxes. There's no windows here. So I planted Dollar Tree bulbs in here, and they have done nothing. Y'all, I water everything in my garden every single day. They've done nothing. The ranunculus and anemones, nothing. I had bulbs that I spent lots of money on, and I don't even remember what they were, tulips and alliums and things, nothing. I pulled those up. These are gazanias, and I'm not sure if they're perennial or annual or not, but I started all these from seed. They look like a small zinnia, I believe. And then I have purple potato vine. But they look like they have more of an upright habit. I don't know. I pulled all of the bulbs that were in here out and planted those. Let's see what we can get with those. And then these two are getting emptied. Now, I think the best part, the best area of my garden as far as flowers goes is this area. And y'all, that steamer broke. It needs to go in the trash. But look at my oh my word, y'all, petunias. These are proven winter petunias. This is a Supertunia Vista bubblegum. The purple are Supertunia Royal Velvet, and these are Lemon Coral Sedum. So I want you to see the difference in the Supertunia Vista varieties and just the Supertunia varieties. You see how vigorous these are? So I have 3 Vistas in here and 3 of just the Supertunias. They stay way lower, and then I have 3, so there are 9 plants in here total. And what I found out when I planted these, I broke off one of the flowering arms, okay? So I didn't want to just chunk it, so I just laid it down right here. And let me show you. I did not know that petunias grew from, this is it right here. It's about to start flowering. So I'm wondering if I can't take some cuttings off of this and move them to the other window boxes and get some petunias on those. As long as you keep these watered, this gets wind from down there. It blows this way. It gets morning sun from that way and afternoon sun from that way. Sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. So this gets everything. All day sun, all day wind. They're doing fabulous. As long as you keep them watered. So I think that if I move these, oh, and that stupid steamer's in the way again. Up here, like I said, it's about 10 something right now. If I put them right here, by about 2 o'clock, they're in full shade. I think they'll do absolutely fabulous. So yeah, I'm still trying to run drip in here as well. So we'll see. Anyway. Alright, y'all, that was my May garden tour for 2022. I know it's a lot, and I know it was long. Thank y'all for sticking around with me. I will show you about armpits on tomatoes. We will discuss the difference between determinate and indeterminate. We will do some basil, either propagation or trimming to make the basil plants grow bigger. We'll do all that stuff. Just not today. So anyway, thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.